Two West Michigan mothers say they now know why they suffered for years. It's an illness only recently recognized by the FDA. They say for years they were dealing with symptoms like extreme fatigue, hair loss, and body aches before they finally learned about what's called breast implant illness. Tonight, 13 on Your Side's Emily Scarlett investigates.
I never even heard the word breast implant illness. No one had ever told me about it.
I had no idea, and it ruined a lot of years of my life.
Two women with similar stories, though their journeys started out different.
Had lost probably close to 60 pounds and just wanted them fuller.
In 2017, I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Both ultimately choosing to get breast implants.
I just wanted to feel good about myself again. I'd lost a lot of weight and it really bothered me. And I thought, well, this is a way to feel better.
Initially, I thought I'm just gonna go flat. I don't want extra surgeries. I don't want the hassle. But the societal pressures kind of got to me. Things were said to me like, well, what about bathing suit season? And you might want to feel more normal in clothing.
Both wishing they had been given more information.
Had I known the risk, I never would have made that decision.
Both say they started to feel sick.
Instead of feeling better after chemotherapy, I felt worse. I had just thought that I wasn't bouncing back from chemo.
I started to notice a change, and then it was about over a 6-year period where it just continued to get worse and worse and worse. Your body reacts to a foreign object, and it just creates a lot of symptoms.
I had chronic fatigue, I had joint pain, ringing in my ears, blurred vision, double vision.
Things slowly start to get worse. You go to doctors, you have blood work, you are told that all of your blood work is normal. And there's nothing wrong with you. It's age, it's stress, it's anxiety.
It's menopause.
It's menopause, it's all of these things.
I remember feeling terrified, like I thought my cancer was back. And doctors were telling me that it was my new normal.
I remember going to bed one night and I was in bed for 11 hours. And I got up the next morning and I looked in the mirror and I thought, I look like a drug addict. And I couldn't figure out what was wrong. And I actually took a photo of my face.
And after getting no answers from doctors, both turned to the internet.
I wonder if the implants are making me sick. And I remember Googling, can breast implants make you ill? And a list of symptoms came up and I read them.
I had been sick for about 3 years. And I was scrolling through Facebook one night and I came across an article, and it was from one of the beauty magazines, and it said something about breast implant illness. And I thought, breast implant illness, what is that? Every single one of my symptoms were in there, and the 3 women that were telling their stories were telling my story. And I just started to cry. It was the first time in 3 years that I had hope.
Then after having their implants removed,
you feel better the minute you wake up from surgery.
I only knew it to be safe.
Dr. Amy DeRosa is a Michigan surgeon who used to perform breast implant surgeries and who also had her own implants. That's until she started to get requests to remove them.
The most significant one that came in, she was, 36, 37 at best, and she walked in with a cane and she looked like she was literally not going to make it past tomorrow. And I still get chills telling the story, but she walked in at her 1 week for her drain removal, right? And she didn't have her cane and she had color in her face. And it was that patient that made me pause. And I said, something is here.
Today, she no longer offers implants, only explants. Hearing complaints of feeling sick from multiple patients, even experiencing symptoms herself.
Hair loss, joint pain, brain fog, and fatigue. I made a decision just to have them removed, and it was the best decision I made. So my symptoms, personally, feeling them, have resolved. I understand what they're talking about. I felt the improvement after having them removed. And me personally, it was like an inflammatory kind of process. And so it's a reality. It's a real thing.
We just want women to know this. It's informed consent. Had I had informed consent, I probably would not have gone through, with the implants.
There's a messaging when women are diagnosed, and the message is, you're broken and we're going to fix you. I think if we can give a new messaging to women and something that says, hey, you have options, and flat closure is an equal option. And no matter what you choose, you're beautiful and you're whole.
Reporting for 13 on Your Side, I'm Emily Scarlett.
The FDA only recently started to acknowledge breast implant illness. As of 2021, breast implant manufacturers are now required to include warnings about possible symptoms on packaging and any informational packets.